Okay.
The 9th of May, Rabbi Levitt, Daniel.
So we're up to verse 18. Pasuk Yud Ches on page 126. 1 second. That right? Maybe we're up to 17. We're up to verse 17. Yeah, we didn't do 17 yet, I don't think.
Zion.
Zion.
Got it.
Maybe we did. Okay, so we'll do it again. Yeah. Yeah, sort of. It starts over on 126, but this commentary only starts on 128. Okay, that's the tricky one. Okay, so Lou, would you like to start off?
Vayasem Hanav Lavo B'Sokef Kol, excuse me, Malchuso V Sharim Imo V'Asa Uvas Hanashim Yiten Lo Lahashchita Below Sa'amod Below Lo Tiyeh. So he will set his face to penetrate the strength of the southern king's whole kingdom, and the upright ones who are with him, and he will succeed. He will give over to him the daughter among women to destroy her, but it will not succeed, and she will not be his. That's pretty enigmatic. Let's see.
Yeah.
To penetrate the strength of the southern king's whole kingdom, having conquered all of Eretz Yisrael, Antiochus now stood at the gates of Egypt, where he would penetrate Ptolemy's whole kingdom. And the upright ones who are with him, and he will succeed. The translation follows Rashi, who maintains that these verses 16 to 18 refer to Antiochus IV, against whom the Hashmoneans revolted. Thus, Visharim and the upright ones, i.e., the Hashmoneans, Imo, will be with him, the king of the south. Uvas Hanashim, the daughter among women, is a metaphoric reference to Israel, which is represented in the allegory of Shir Shirim as a beautiful woman. He, Antiochus, will give over to him his general, the daughter among women, the loyal Jewish people who openly profess Judaism, to destroy her below Sa'amod, but his plan will not succeed. The Hashmoneans will revolt and successfully throw off Antiochus' yoke. According to Malbim, Visharim imo is translated as he will reach an agreement with him, literally the upright ways with him. The Romans, fearing Antiochus's growing power and suspicious of his intentions, intervened and took Egypt under their protection. An emissary, Cornelius Lentulus, was sent to Rome to conduct negotiations with Antiochus on behalf of Ptolemy IV. Antiochus, feeling the time was not ripe to risk a confrontation with the powerful Romans, responded with what he thought was a brilliant diplomatic maneuver. Antiochus concluded a peace with Egypt and cemented this peace by joining the two royal houses in marriage. Cleopatra, Antiochus' daughter, would be given in marriage to Ptolemy V, Epiphanes. Antiochus depended on his daughter to create a fifth column in Egypt, hoping to gain by treachery what he did not dare attempt to gain on the battlefield. And the daughter among women, Israel, according to Rashi. According to Malbim, it refers to Cleopatra, daughter of Antiochus III, i.e., the daughter of one of his women, to destroy her. According to Rashi, Israel, according to Malbim, to destroy the kingdom of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
But it will not succeed, literally stand. The destruction of Israel will not succeed, according to Rashi. According to Malbim, this scheme of conquering Egypt from within will not succeed. And she will not be his. The Hasmoneans will throw off the yoke of the Greeks, Rashi. According to Malbim, Cleopatra did not play the role her father wanted her to play. Rather, she was loyal to her husband.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, see, because since the psukim themselves are not very clear about who it is that we're talking about, the king of the north, the king of the south, the upright ones, it's not clear who it is that it's referring to. So you could have a different, a whole different explanation of what the pasuk is. Rashi is saying it's talking about the whole episode of the Hashmonaim against Antiochus in the time of Hanukkah, and according to Malbim, much later commentary, only 100 or so years ago, he says no, it's not talking about that at all. It's talking about something else. He was trying to infiltrate Antiochus to undermine the kingdom of Egypt by marrying off his daughter to the royal house of Egypt. Okay, so it seems like we're saying here very clearly the north, Saphon, king of the north, that's referring to Antiochus, and the king of the south is Egypt, is Ptolemy. Mm. And all they had many Ptolemies, they had many Antiochuses. The Antiochus in the time of Hanukkah was the fourth one. And yeah, it says here that Cleopatra was the daughter of Antiochus. I don't know if that's the same Cleopatra of the movies in Hollywood, but you know, it doesn't matter because as long as people go to watch the movie, that's the main thing, right? Okay. So So that was Pasuk Yud Zion 17. Now we go to 18 with Mayor.
Okay, so it says, by a same panav li'im lachad rabim v'hishbit katzin cherpato lo bilti cherpato yashiv lo. Then he will turn his attention toward isles, and he will conquer many, but the commander will cause his insolence to cease. For his insolence alone, he will punish him. Wow. Okay. So it says, "Vayasem panav liyim," that then he will turn his attention toward the isles. Antiochus now proceeded to wage war against the islands of the Mediterranean, many of which were under Roman protection. He concluded an alliance with Hannibal of Carthage. After marrying his daughter to Ptolemy V, Antiochus conquered in Turkey, finally fought and counting on many Greek forces who were eaten, he proceeded to Greece. Okay. The Hishbit Katzin Herpato, but the commander will cause his insolence to cease. The Roman consul Basilius Glabrio, sent by the Senate to stop Antiochus, soundly defeated him at Thermopylae, which was followed by a decisive defeat of the king's fleet at Corysus. Antiochus then recrossed the Dardanelles to defend his Asian possessions. The Romans, under the leadership of Lucius Cornelius Scipio and his brother Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus, met him in battle at Magnesia near Smyrna and crushed him. Antiochus is said to have lost 70,000 men. Wow. And Bilti Cherpati Vyashiv Lo. For his insolence alone, he will punish, or literally to return him. The territories taken from Antiochus as a result of his defeat were the price of his lack of respect for Roman power and its imperial interests. When Antiochus sued for peace, the Scipios demanded that he give up all his possessions in Europe, plus a great part of Asia, and pay an exorbitant amount of money in war reparations. The angel here clearly indicates that Antiochus's misfortunes were visited upon him as a consequence of his rash and impudent conduct toward the Romans. Rashi understands this verse to refer to the horrible death of Antiochus IV. God, the commander will punish Antiochus, causing him to retreat in disgrace and die on his way.
Yeah, it's interesting. They just devoted the three lines over here in the notes to what Rashi says over here. If you take a look at Rashi on this pasuk that you just read, Meir, Veheshbis Katzin Cherpasolo, Rashi tells a whole story over here. Heshbis HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Es Gidufoi Ves Cherpasoi, or Cherpasoi, yeah. The Hashem put to an end, put down his heresy and vilification of I don't know of Shahaya Macharef. Oh, who was it that he was vilifying and saying heresy about? Shahaya Macharef es Hakodesh Baruch Hu ve'es Yisrael.
Huh.
And he says, Kamosha Katuv B'Sefer Yosifon. This is also spoken out in Josephus as well, says Rashi.
Wow.
Veheshivoy Olav Shehiko B'Shchin. He gave him his just desserts, and he smote him with the boils, Shchin Ra, Ba'odo B'derech, while he was still on the way, Shahalach Latsur al Yisrael. He was on his way to lay siege to Yerushalayim. V'hesriach Besoro, V'nashro Evorov. Wow, who ever heard this? Rashi says his flesh became putrid and his limbs fell off.
Wow. Huh.
The Amar Lavodov, and he said to his servants, Lahashivoy LaAntiochia. He said he requested from his servants, his men, to instead of going to continue the campaign, to bring him home to Antiochia, where he could pass away in relative peace. I don't know if he ever made it though. Rashi doesn't say what happened in the end of the story, or does he? He continues. Hashiva alav sheikol b'shchin ra ba'oda b'derek shahalak latzur al Yushalayim v'sriach b'saro v'nishro evarv v'amar la'avodav la'shiva la'Antiochia. He requested of his servants to return him to Antiochia. I guess that's where his palace is. That's his home. But lo has speak, says Rashi. Lo has speak lavosham. He didn't manage to get there. He didn't get home. Ad shemes b'chulayim ra'im, until he died of terrible illnesses and sicknesses. Wow. We never heard this. Look at this. You have to see Rashi in Sefer Daniel. And what astounds me is that this should have been the focus of the comment over here in verse 18.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, in my humble opinion, I think that's very noteworthy. Okay. Okay. They didn't ask me to do the commentary over here. All right. And we go on to Yud Tes. Back to Lou.
Shave Panav Lama Uze Artso Benich Shal Nafal Velo Himatse. Then he will direct himself towards the strongholds of his homeland. He will stumble and fall and not be found. Okay, let's see. What does the commentary say here? Then he will direct himself. Antiochus returned to his native Syria to raise the heavy fine that had been imposed upon him. And he will stumble and fall, impelled, no doubt, by the necessity to pay his war debt. Antiochus made the mistake of plundering the temple in Bel, holy to the inhabitants of Alimais, Elam. This enraged the populace, and Antiochus was assassinated
Oh.
and not be found. His remains disappeared. They assassinated him and then they destroyed the body.
Wow.
Huh. Okay, so that's they don't say who says this. They don't give a reference. It's not like the Rashi that I just read you.
All right.
It says that he died on the way home. He never got there. Okay. Um, just looking. What does Rav Sadia say over here? They don't bring how he learns these psukim. He doesn't look like he understands like Rashi either. Okay. Okay. Sudas. But Suda seems to be going like Rashi. Yeshorim imo am Yeshorim from the nation of the Yeshorim, Hem Yisrael. Mixas mehem yu be'ezrasoi. A portion of them will be in with at his assistance, the assistance of Antiochus. Who are they? Who's a portion of the nation of the Yesharim who would be at the assistance of Antiochus? V'hem Rishe Yisrael, Asher Yischabru Imoy. Those were the Rishoyim of Yisrael that connected themselves to Antiochus, the Hellenists, the Misyavnim. Iten lo yimsor lemi she'aser es hamilchama v'hu polifus sar hatzava lo yimsor es adas Yisrael la'ashchisa v'ligzor alehem gezeros v'lo tamod v'al gezeros hara hahi lo tamod v'lo tiyeh lo adas Yisrael la'avodim u'kasher yomar lamata. Okay, so the fine. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next pasuk. What's the next pasuk? 20. Tough.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Amad al kano ma'avir noges heder machut uvayamim achadim yeshaver velo ba'apayim velo b'milchama. There will arise in his place one whose glory of kingship is the overthrow of the oppressor. Yet in a few years it will be broken, but neither through an enemy's wrath nor through war. Okay. Yamad al-Bano, now Kano, there will arise literally on his place. Antiochus III was succeeded by his elder son, Seleucus IV, Philopator. His short reign was relatively peaceful, but the treasury was so depleted by the heavy tributes he was forced to pay the Romans and by the war debts accumulated by his father Antiochus that the main occupation of his government became the collection of taxes. On account of this, he is described here as one whose glory of kingship is Ma'avir Nogesh, the passing through of the tax collector. And that's the Ma'avim. According to Rashi, the verse refers to Thessius and the Hasmoneans who overthrew Antiochus IV. Thus, one whose glory of kingship is the overthrow of the oppressor. Ma'avir Nogesh, the overthrow of the oppressor. Translation follows Rashi. According to Malbim, passing through of the tax collector, Nogesh was from lo yigosh. He may not pressure. That's from Devarim. Heder Malchut, glory of kingship. It was said sarcastically by his contemporaries that the entire glory of Seleucus's reign lay in the exacting of taxes. Yamim achadim yeshaver. Yet in a few years it will be broken. After a 12-year reign, Seleucus IV was assassinated by his chief minister, Heliodorus. And let's see, below Ba'apayim, but neither through an enemy's wrath. The assassination was not the result of anything Seleucus did to provoke the anger of a rival monarch against himself. That's Mitsudo. Rashi interprets this verse also as dealing with Antiochus IV of Hanukkah infamy. Thus, one, Mattathias the Hasmonean, will arise in his place, Ma'avir Nogesh, which is who will overthrow the oppressor, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, which is the glory of kingship of the Hasmonean dynasty. Yet in a few years, the Hasmonean dynasty, will be broken, neither through an enemy's wrath nor through war with another nation, but through the internecine quarrels of Hyrcanus and Aristobulus over the throne, which brought about the downfall of their dynasty. Internal strife.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Looking at what Rashi wrote over here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hmm. All right. So next pasuk. You have time for next pasuk? Yeah. We're up to 21. Haf Aleph.
Ahmad al Kano Nivzeh Velo Nas Nu Alav Hod Malchus Uva Vishalva Vehezik Malchus Bachalak Lakos. Then in its place will stand a contemptible one, upon whom they did not confer the glory of kingship. He will come in peace, attaining kingship through treachery. Then in its place will stand a contemptible one, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, infamous for his oppression of the Jews, ascended the throne, upon whom they did not confer the glory of kingship. Seleucus IV died, leaving a teenage son, Demetrius, who was held hostage in Rome at the time of his father's death, and a baby son, Antiochus. Their uncle, Antiochus IV, was not a legitimate heir to the throne. Attaining kingship through treachery, Antiochus IV, at the time of his brother's death, was serving as a general in the Roman forces at Athens. He had been away from Syria for most of his adult life, having been a hostage in Rome from the time of his father's defeat at Magnesia. Thus, he could not count on native Syrian forces to support him, but he was able to convince the king of Pergamum, a city near the Dardanelles, to lend him the support of his troops. When he entered Antioch, the capital, he was able to take over the government of the country. Some historians conjecture that the evidence of contemporary coins and records that at first Antiochus IV did not openly declare himself king. He assumed the stance of a caretaker regent ruling for his underage nephew Antiochus. 6 years after Antiochus IV Epiphanes' ascension to the throne, Antiochus, son of Seleucus IV, the young heir to the throne, was killed while Antiochus IV was away putting down an insurgency. On his return, he had the murderers put to death. Rashi interprets this verse as well as the rest of the vision as referring to the fourth kingdom, the Romans.
Oh yeah, I see. So Rashi says that's the just that it says in the pasuk Ve'amod al kano nivzeh. A despised one will get up on ascend to a height, and he says that refers to the Malchus of Esav. Why would that refer to Esav? Because the pasuk in Ovadia calls Esav bazui ata ma'od. pasuk in Ovadia, and so that matches Bozui matches this word nivzeh, nivzeh, like bizayon,
Hmm.
disgrace. Yamdu roimim, and that's when the Romim got up. V'yitlu malchus v'yavonim, and they took the kingship away from the Greeks, from Antiochus. Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so that'll do it for today, I think.
Yeah, very good, Yeshkayach.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good Shabbos. Have a good Shabbos, Meir.
You
Good
too.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Enjoy.
Okay, 20.
We got up to 22.
Correct.